Did you know that at the heart of the Roman Empire, one of the biggest businesses didn't involve gold or land, but rather gladiators? Imagine a world where men became commodities, trained to entertain crowds and generate fortunes. You might think that the fights were just bloody spectacles, but what if I told you there was a complex economy behind this phenomenon? How did the trade of gladiators transform into a profitable industry, shaping the lives of millions and influencing the politics and culture of the time? What happens when the desire for blood meets greed? In this video, we will demystify this fascinating story, exploring the strategies that turned men into icons and arenas into true profit stages. Get ready to uncover the secrets that few know about the economy of the fights and how it impacted not only the empire, but the very concept of success and power. The rise of gladiatorial combat in ancient Rome began with the capture of prisoners of war. These individuals, once considered disposable, soon became essential to a growing form of entertainment that captivated Roman society. Initially, these captives were seen as mere fodder for the violent spectacles. However, as their popularity grew, so did the recognition that not all gladiators were equal. Some warriors demonstrated remarkable skills, and the potential for profit in cultivating such abilities became clear. What had begun as a grim use for the defeated soon transformed into an organized trade. Wealthy Romans, eager to impress their peers and curry favor with the masses, began financing gladiatorial games. This demand gave rise to a new form of commerce: the buying, selling, and training of gladiators. These fighters were no longer just captives. They became a commodity, with specialized markets emerging across the empire to supply this growing need. For the wealthy elite, it wasn't just about bloodlust, but also about showing off their influence and resources. With the increasing demand for more skilled gladiators, an intricate network of suppliers, buyers, and trainers developed. Gladiators could now be purchased or leased for events, adding a commercial layer to what was originally seen as mere punishment for enemies. Wealthy patrons often purchased fighters with the intent of building an elite stable of combatants, ones who could attract crowds and prestige to their events. This shift turned the spectacle into an enterprise, where the fates of men were bartered like any other goods. While the origins of the gladiator trade were rooted in war and conquest, it wasn't long before the empire realized the potential for profit. Gladiators became symbols of both power and entertainment, with their value soaring based on their skills, strength, and popularity. What had started as a brutal use of captured prisoners gradually became a lucrative business opportunity, with gladiators transitioning from unwilling participants to professional fighters whose lives were controlled by the highest bidders. By the height of the empire, the gladiator trade had evolved into a sophisticated system, where individuals were sourced, trained, and sold like any other commodity. This transformation not only highlighted the Romans' ability to commercialize violence, but also set the stage for the industry's expansion. The path from prisoner to professional gladiator was fraught with danger, but it was also one where fortunes could be made, not just for the fighters, but for the entire economy surrounding them. As the gladiatorial trade matured, it became clear that raw talent alone wasn't enough to captivate audiences. This realization led to the establishment of ludi, specialized gladiator schools where fighters were trained in various combat techniques. These schools, often run by wealthy lanisti gladiator trainers, became crucial to the gladiator economy. Training wasn't just about improving a fighter's chances in the arena. It was an investment. A well-trained gladiator could fetch a higher price on the market or bring in more revenue through winnings and sponsorship deals. The ludi operated much like modern sports academies, with recruits undergoing intense physical training, honing their skills in specific weaponry, and learning the strategies needed to survive the brutal matches. Trainers, often former gladiators themselves, had a vested interest in ensuring their pupils performed well. A successful fighter reflected positively on the lanista and could lead to further financial opportunities. In this way, the business of training gladiators became a critical part of the overall economy, as schools competed to produce the best and most entertaining fighters. Integral to the gladiator economy was the slave market, where most fighters were sourced. Slaves, captured from conquered lands or born into servitude, made up the bulk of gladiators. However, not all slaves were destined for the arena. Only those deemed physically fit or with potential combat skills were selected. The purchase and sale of these individuals became a highly competitive market, with the best prospects commanding high prices. Lanisti scoured slave markets across the empire, seeking recruits to train and sell for a profit. Once purchased, these slaves entered the rigorous world of the Ludi. Here, they were transformed from mere laborers or prisoners into fighters capable of drawing huge crowds. The investment in their training was not only physical but psychological. Gladiators were conditioned to embrace their role in the arena, where survival meant fame and success could bring rewards. The better they performed, the more valuable they became, both to their owners and to the broader economy that thrived on their success. The business of gladiator schools and the slave trade created a cyclical system where wealth flowed between slave traders, trainers, and event organizers. The need for fresh talent kept the slave markets thriving, while the promise of profit motivated Lanisti to train their fighters to the peak of their abilities. In many ways, the gladiator economy mirrored modern sports industries, with a heavy emphasis on talent development, training, and the commercialization of human potential. The Roman arenas were more than just venues for violent spectacles. They were the heart of an intricate entertainment industry. With thousands of spectators filling the stands, these colossal structures became centers of both social interaction and commerce. The games provided a unique opportunity for politicians and wealthy elites to solidify their influence over the masses. Sponsoring a gladiatorial event was a way to gain public favor, often serving as a stepping stone to political power. The games became a platform where the intersection of entertainment and business thrived. Behind the scenes, organizing these events involved meticulous planning and considerable financial resources. Lanisti supplied the gladiators, while sponsors funded the games in hopes of generating political or social capital. The arenas themselves were spectacles of Roman engineering, designed to accommodate tens of thousands of spectators, with seating arrangements reflecting the social hierarchy of Roman society. From the wealthy patrons sitting in the best seats to the common citizens crowding the upper levels, the audience reflected the stratification of the empire itself. A single event could involve multiple fights, elaborate sets, and sometimes even mock naval battles staged in flooded arenas. Each game was carefully curated to provide maximum entertainment value, ensuring the crowds would return for more. The sheer scale of these events required a vast amount of resources, from the training and outfitting of gladiators to the logistics of animal transport for exotic beast fights. The economy of the games extended beyond the fighters themselves, encompassing a wide network of suppliers and merchants who profited from the spectacle. Moreover, the games were a tool for the Roman state to assert control. By giving the people entertainment, the ruling class could distract from political issues or unrest. Bread and circuses, as the phrase goes, became a defining strategy for maintaining order in the vast empire. The arenas, therefore, weren't just business ventures. They were also integral to the social and political stability of Rome. In many ways, the success of the gladiatorial games was a reflection of the empire's ability to commercialize every aspect of life, turning even death into a profitable enterprise. As the popularity of the games grew, so did the competition among sponsors to host the most extravagant and memorable events. This desire for bigger and better spectacles created a feedback loop, where the demand for more impressive gladiators and thrilling fights drove further investment into the gladiatorial economy. From the local arenas to the mighty Colosseum, the gladiatorial games became an essential part of Roman life, entwining entertainment, economics, and power into a single, blood-soaked enterprise. Gladiators were more than mere combatants. They became symbols of Roman culture and even early forms of celebrity. Just as modern athletes and entertainers are marketed as brands, so too were successful gladiators. Those who survived the arena and earned a reputation for skill or bravery could command immense wealth and status. Some were even freed from their servitude and became highly paid professionals, adored by the public. The commercialization of gladiators extended beyond the fights themselves, as their likenesses appeared on merchandise, from mosaics to figurines. Certain gladiators developed followings, their fame transcending the arena. Like athletes today, they had fan bases that supported them, cheered for them, and even placed bets on their victories. Merchants and artisans capitalized on their popularity, producing items that featured their images. From household decorations to graffiti on public walls, the names and faces of famous gladiators became part of the Roman visual landscape. Their appeal wasn't limited to their fighting abilities. They embodied ideals of strength, courage, and resilience that resonated with the broader public. The economic value of a famous gladiator extended far beyond the price they could fetch in the slave market or the winnings they could earn in the arena. Some fighters became wealthy themselves, negotiating terms for their participation in fights or receiving gifts from admirers. A victorious gladiator might be showered with riches by their sponsor, further enhancing their economic impact. In turn, their victories helped maintain the profitability of the arenas, drawing larger crowds and inspiring future contests. In a sense, these fighters became walking investments, whose success benefited everyone from the lanista to the empire itself. Culturally, gladiators occupied a strange space in Roman society. Despite their status as slaves or former slaves, they were admired, even envied by many free citizens. Their fame and fortune stood in stark contrast to their humble or brutal origins. This paradox added to their mystique, making them figures of both fascination and aspiration. For many Romans, the lives of these fighters symbolized the empire's ability to turn even the lowest individuals into legends, proving that in Rome, power and success could come from the most unexpected places. In essence, gladiators were both commodities and cultural icons. Their bodies were sold, traded, and fought over in the literal sense, but their personas were equally valuable, shaping Roman culture and economy. As the gladiatorial trade evolved, these fighters became central to a complex web of economic interests, where their value was measured not just in coin, but in the influence they wielded over the crowds and the legacy they left behind.